right, it started.
Wow. It was snowing.
Snowing, yeah. Welcome to the Store Brand Comics live stream, people. I'm Teo, and I'm covered in butter.
And I'm Brandon, and I'm covered in, I can't believe it's not butter.
We should mix them together and make I Can Believe Some of It's Butter.
Yes. That'd be perfect. And then get sued by, I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, and also Dimitri Martin because that's his joke.
Oh, okay.
That's the Dimitri Martin joke.
I haven't listened to Dimitri Martin in a long time. It was like, he's not bad. It was just like at that time I wasn't like into additional stuff in your stand-up act.
Yeah.
Like guitar and PowerPoints or whatever.
Yeah. Prop work and musical comedy and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I find him pretty funny. He's like a weird halfway point between like the Stephen Wright, one liner then you're done sort of comedy and like more traditional storytelling based comedy.
Yeah. For sure.
So, all right. This is our very first live stream, so we can't edit out any of the boring parts where we're stuck on something.
Yes. The best parts.
The best parts. And if either of our dogs start barking, the people listening are just going to have to deal with it until we get them to shut up.
Yeah, when our dogs start barking, whether it's my dog or Tio's dog, we can mute the mic and go calm them. And the other can read off our super extensive sponsor list. We've got a lot of sponsors this episode.
Oh, yeah, definitely. All right, so today's stream is about so for anyone who I guess is wondering, anyone who might not know, this is like an extension of a podcast that we do called Store Brand Comics, where we come up with like ideas for like comic book or nerd based like stories, and like the original idea was like it would mostly be like one-off ideas, but then we started doing like a lot of ongoing narratives in the main podcast. So doing like live streams here, I feel like is probably a good way to grease the wheels, loosen up the brain, and do some more like one-off type stuff.
Yeah.
So,
because what we realized a couple weeks ago when we did a one-off was that we had did like 3 this year, which I was surprised. I was very surprised that we only did 3. So there's that.
Yeah, the main podcast started focusing a lot more on the multiple ongoing narrative concepts that we started with, as well as just general normal discussion-based episodes.
Yeah.
That you would find in your usual like geek culture podcast sort of thing.
Yeah, but lately it's we've been covering like our DC Cinematic Universe reboot, our Marvel Comics reboot. That's been our big focuses.
Yeah. So today we are revisiting one of our favorite like old one-off concepts that we actually did 2 episodes of previously. And that is crossing over DC Comics characters with Cartoon Network characters. And I actually have the Wikipedia entry for regular show up in front of me right now.
Nice. I was actually surprised like how long ago it was that we even did the part 2. Because we did part 1, that episode came out in like early April of 2020. And then part 2 came out in like May or June of 2020. I didn't realize we did part 2 like 1 or 2 months later.
Yeah. The last time we did part 2, or when we did part 2, it came out like a year and a half ago at this point.
Yeah, it was insane. And I did want to mention the previous ones we did, in case someone does happen to listen on this and be like, why wasn't this done or why wasn't that done? I wanted to mention ones we had done, whatever.
The ones we had did.
Yeah, we done did it.
Bang.
So the ones we did already do, you can go check those out in the normal podcast, Spotify, all that stuff. The ones we've done Powerpuff Girls and Superman.
Which is one
We've
of my
done
favorites.
Yeah. Which I was going through this, like almost all of these I really like. There might be one where I'm like, it's good, but compared to the rest, it's not like super amazing. But yeah, like almost all these I really like and would love to see. That's definitely one. Samurai Jack and Booster Gold. I really like that one. It's essentially like a Quantum and Woody type dynamic, but with time travel. Ben 10 and Dial H. I think that's really fitting. Codename Kids Next Door and Teen Titans. That's an obvious one. Courage the Cowardly Dog and Green Lantern or Scarecrow or Mad Hatter or Swamp Thing or Etrigan or Constantine or any horror character or any Batman Rogues Gallery member. Because we we never actually did like a specific Courage one because we realized Courage can like be in nearly any crossover with the DC comics. And we realized
Courage
Courage
is an extremely versatile character.
Yeah, we realized one day we'll just do a Courage episode of Courage doing different crossover. We basically saw it as like how the comics with Batman Brave and the Bold, how Batman's always with a new person each issue, or like the Marvel team up stuff, the Spider-Man one, where Spider-Man was always teamed up with something. It was like that with Courage, basically. Like it could fit perfectly. And then some other ones that we've done. We've done Dexter and Batman, where the villains were Mandark and Hugo Strange. We've done Johnny Bravo and Wonder Woman. And we've done Ed and Eddie and Gotham City Sirens. And then the other two are Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and Shazam. And then the last one was The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Raven. So we've done all of those. So if you are like, oh, they're not going to talk about that one, you can go back to one of those and search through, scan through, and try to hear it. I think all of them turned out pretty good.
Plus, we also have a bit of a rule. Hang on, let me get this back closer to my face. We also have a bit of a rule where we are allowed to reuse characters just as long as we team them up with someone different.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, today, I don't think we're reusing anyone, at least not from Cartoon Network. But
yeah, like it might be different for DC, but we've got different Cartoon Network stuff right now. But so I'm not going to list all of them at once. I might just go down the list, name one, and then we can start thinking of a pitch for that one.
Yeah. The one the Wikipedia article I have in front of me right now is for regular show.
Okay, yeah, that works perfectly. Let me pull this up real quick. I am looking at regular show as well. Okay. All right, so regular show, you need weirdness. Because, I think it's mentioned in some of the synopsis of regular show or whatever that it's anything but regular. That's what's great about the name regular show.
Yeah. And the thing is, it always starts with a really normal setup, and then just goes crazy from there.
Yeah.
Like regular show always starts with something regular, but by the end of it, it's like you're watching something completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
They do a lot in 11 minutes.
Oh, yeah. It's insane. I'm trying to think what would be like a good. Okay, two things just came to mind.
All right.
And it doesn't have to be either one of these things, but my brain's going, and I kind of like wherever either one goes. Either regular show and Etrigan or regular show and Lobo.
Both of those are really good.
Because
Yeah, crossing them over with one character at a time could be interesting too. Because my brain keeps thinking like, all right, so regular shows about a pair of like slacker best friends. So I was thinking like maybe like an iconic duo, but something weird like Lobo or Etrigan could also be interesting.
because I'm now thinking with Etrigan, because the big thing with most regular show episodes is like it gets super weird by the end, or they go to a super weird place.
Yeah,
And so I was almost thinking like if it's Etrigan, they basically go to hell with Etrigan.
yeah.
And battle whatever threat there is in hell. Or if it's with Lobo, Lobo's a bounty hunter. So he's been he's been contracted to take out Mordecai and Rigby. Or it might not be Mordecai and Rigby. It could be like Benson and they're trying to like save him or something.
Oh, okay. You know what? So Skips is always the one who knows everything, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Lobo is contracted to take out Skips.
Mm.
And Mordecai,
Yeah.
Rigby, and all the others have to like work together to protect him.
Yes, that'd be perfect. Yeah. And it's even because Skips usually isn't like that scared of stuff. He's cautious. He's never really scared of stuff. It could be like something where he's like, I don't want to mess with this guy. He's the main man.
He's the main man.
Yeah, I think that'd be perfect. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Mark Hamill characters, but I love doing like Mark Hamill impressions.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'm any good at it at all, but it's just fun to do.
No, it's got to be miles better than mine. But yeah, like
He comes from deep and out of space.
I think both the Etrigan and Lobo thing is fitting. I think Lobo fits a little bit better.
Probably.
And I do like that idea that, yeah, like Lobo's out for Skips and they're trying to stop Lobo.
You get a scene of Muscle Man calling out Lobo, and Lobo's got like leather and chains all over and everything, and Muscle Man's like, you know who else likes leather and chains? My mom. And like throws a chair at him.
Yeah. It just like throws it and it like just like breaks on Lobo's chest while he's standing there. And Muscle Man's like,
Lobo doesn't flinch. The chair.
Yeah.
Shatters.
Exactly. Yeah. And Muscle Man's like, what?
Uh-oh.
And Lobo starts like running down Muscle Man or like trying to beat up Muscle Man. And Muscle Man's like,
you get that iconic joke of like, like it just cuts to outside whatever room they're in, and all you hear is Muscle Man screaming, and
yeah.
so like that joke that's in like every cartoon at some point where someone gets beat up.
Yeah. And then you have similar to the Halloween episode where like Muscle Man gets like killed. Like what it is like he walks into the house and he's like this was the Halloween episode. He walks into the house and like he's all skinned, like it's just muscle. He's like, now I look ripped, and then he just falls and dies. The reason I mentioned that is because like you have him like walk in all beaten up and stuff, walk into the house and close the door, and he says like some one-liner and then just falls to the floor.
Yeah. Goodness, I had no idea regular show went on as long as it did.
How long did it go?
It went from let's see here, its pilot came out in 2009, so we'll say 2009, all the way through to January of 2017. It's so
Dang.
like the pilot was August. Yeah, the pilot was August of 2009. The actual like season 1 started in September the year after that, though. So I
Yeah.
guess you could probably say 2010 then. So from September 2010 to January 2017.
Yeah, I remember when it like came out because I was either in like I was in middle school at some point. I remember like
Yeah.
talking about it with friends, and then our teacher, he was a great teacher. I just remember him wearing like a bold bow tie and him being like pretty old. It was like, "What's this regular show?" And we tried explaining it to him. It's like, "Oh, okay." It was essentially like dad walking in saying, "Are you winning, son?"
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, pretty much. You mentioning like a bow tie and being an old guy, it makes me think of Pops
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, we
how.
should have been like, "Hey, there's a character that's like you."
So would Pops be in any way effectual in trying to hold off Lobo?
I'm trying to think because like Pops is like kind of he's like silly, goofy, and he's kind of proper, and Lobo's not really proper. I would like at least
Yeah.
a little interaction between them where like Lobo's kind of rude. Like
Yeah.
Pops is like, "How rude," or whatever.
I don't like this man very much. He's quite crude.
Looks
Lobo
like the
ties
old
him.
guy needs a wedgie. And Lobo just
I was gonna say Lobo ties him like a pretzel knot and punts him down the street.
yeah. This is not a jolly good show. Not at all. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So he's still going for skips. It's basically one of those things where like he's picking them off kind of one by one. Not entirely like they're separated, but it's more like one goes to fight him and they lose kind of.
Yeah, like they're all trying to fight him one-on-one and he keeps taking them down.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Eventually maybe he like okay. So earlier, maybe Mordecai and Rigby like tried doing something and they just got swatted away or whatever.
Yeah.
So now Lobo is now like, well, I should say Lobo eventually encounters Benson. And Benson's like, "What are you doing on my park property?" and all that stuff, or "What are you doing in my house?" That sort of stuff. And like Lobo again just swats him away. Eventually, he makes it to Skips. And like they have like kind of like a pretty decent battle. Like I know it's cartoons, but let's have it like a good, decent choreographed fight.
Yeah. Decently choreographed for a regular show.
Yeah, exactly. But Skips does ultimately get like beaten, and like Lobo's like standing over him, about to like kill him or handcuff him or whatever.
Yeah.
And at that moment, you hear like an engine like rev outside, like a loud one, and in comes crashing through the wall Mordecai and Rigby on Lobo's bike, and just runs Lobo over and like crashes through the other wall.
Yeah. Screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea what they're doing. And like so like Lobo's caught on like the underside of his bike and it's like the rocket bike, so it's flying through the air. And he he starts like trying to climb on, but he's caught underneath it and like his face is getting like scorched off by the rocket blaze.
Yeah.
But in like the cartoony sort of way, so it's not like super graphic.
Yeah.
As he's crawling back up on his bike, he's like, "Ah!" Were they allowed to say "kill" in regular show?
They at least said death or die.
Yeah, Oh, right. Okay, they were allowed to say it because there was that one episode when they were like riding on a microwave oven through time or something, and Mordecai pushed Rigby off and he fell into the time stream and disintegrated. He's like, "Oh no, I just killed my best friend."
Oh yeah.
I think it was a microwave oven. Isn't it? It just speaks to how ridiculous this show is. That my question isn't whether or not they were flying through time. It was whether or not it was specifically on a microwave oven.
Yeah. And maybe Lobo's bike, like obviously there's the handles and you ride like that, but maybe there's also like a way to steer it or something that's similar to their game controller. I don't know. I was just trying
That's
to
similar
think
to
of
like a
like
Super
how,
Nintendo controller.
yeah. Like one of them might be able to drive it decently, even though they didn't mean to fly through the air. Obviously, they're going to be like crapping their pants, flying through the air and all that.
Yeah. Lobo's gonna be swinging his hooks around.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I think. So I think this bit ends when the scuffle with Lobo, because they're probably really high in the air. So the scuffle with Lobo gets to such a point that they end up like nose diving into the ground with the motorcycle,
Okay. Yeah.
and Lobo goes flying.
Yeah.
Okay, here's actually an idea where we might actually be able to like use both DC characters that you came up with actually, because I think there actually is like a place that Etrigan could fit into this.
Okay.
Skips, after having sat idly by to allow his friends to fight for him for long enough, he's like, "I know what I must do," and like he would basically contact Etrigan, and allow himself to become like Etrigan's vessel to fight Lobo.
Oh yeah.
Like make a deal with him basically.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
And that would be like the big finale. It's like after Mordecai and Rigby risk their lives on a rocket bike.
Skips gets embodied by the demon Etrigan.
Yep.
And beats the crap out of Lobo. And drags Lobo to hell. I don't
This fight between us has ended, Lobo. I'll rip you up and make you look like a hobo. Though you're only a bounty hunter, you fought well. It's time for me to drag you to hell. For anyone unfamiliar with Etrigan the Demon, he speaks in rhymes.
Yeah.
That's why that joke's funny. I probably should have explained that ahead of time.
Yeah.
But now you can all laugh retroactively.
Yes. But yeah, like whenever he says that, the hell line, the earth cracks open in the middle. Hands are reaching for Lobo and stuff. He's still trying to be the cool main man and all that. And like, I don't know. I'm not cool like Lobo, so I don't know lines that he would say as he's swatting hands away. Yeah. But eventually, like Etrigan,
I feel like Lobo, as he's swatting hands away, would kind of point up to the guys, in the park and say like, "This ain't over between us." And as he's dragged down.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing a potential sequel.
Yeah. Then it closes, and then like before Etrigan turns back to Skips, like Mordecai and Rigby, they're both like before that, like what do you think of like video games or something? And he does some sort of rhyming thing about liking video games. And then it cuts to them all playing video games. And Etrigan's kind of big, so they're on the couch, and Etrigan's like giant on the couch, just like kind of like scrunched over with a tiny controller in his hand.
When it comes to games, you know I am the best. I mastered the art of the SNES.
Yeah. Yeah, but you show him like losing in the video game and him like kind of getting upset or whatever, like whenever he screams, like a little bit of fire comes out, that sort of stuff.
Compared to me, you're like a wombat. I'll defeat you in Mortal Kombat.
We don't have that game.
Oh. Well, my fighting game skills couldn't be tighter. I'll destroy you in Street Fighter.
We got Smash Bros.
Yeah, I can do Smash.
It just ends there.
Later, when Etrigan leaves Skips' body, and they ask Skips, "So what was the price you had to pay for his help?" Skips is like, "My secret quiche recipe." I've safeguarded it for generations.
Never thought I'd have to give it up, but I had to. Yeah,
To save you and me, but mostly you. All right, yeah, I think that's a good regular show crossover right there.
Yeah. You got regular show and Lobo featuring Etrigan. Perfect.
All right. So what's the next one on the list?
All right, so we tackled regular show. I think the next one we can do is Chowder.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love Chowder.
All right, so I'm thinking of people that cook in the DC universe. Only two really come to mind. If you're going to do Chowder, you got to have some like cooking elements or something.
Yeah.
Either, and I'm weighing more heavily on one than the other. Either Green Arrow or Alfred Pennyworth.
Oh, okay. I think I know which one you're leaning into. Especially considering some of our Alfred improv that we've done in previous episodes.
Yeah.
So Alfred definitely.
Yeah.
That's my vote.
Because Green Arrow, like, yes, he's like a cook, but it's mostly like he's known for his chili. Like, no one really knows anything else he makes.
Yeah.
Alfred's a butler. Like, he cooks all the time.
Yeah. I could make you a turkey sandwich, and it would be the best turkey sandwich you've ever had.
So, yeah, you have Alfred singing the Chowder song. You take
the moon
and you take
the sun. You take everything that seems like fun.
You stir it all up and then you're done. Rada. So come on in. Feel free to do some looking.
Stay a while, because something's always cooking.
Yeah.
Dang, so Chowder really is just a cat, bear, rabbit thing. Like, there is no specific animal he's supposed to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is Schnitzel supposed to be?
Schnitzel is a rock monster.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense in the world of Chowder.
Yep. Let's see here. And then Panini is described as a cabbit, which I assume means she's a cat rabbit.
Oh, okay, yeah. I could see that.
Mung Doll, I assume, is just supposed to be a dude.
Yeah. Just some blue guy.
Truffles the mushroom pixie. Kimchi the fart cloud.
Yeah.
Gazpacho is a woolly mammoth. That's like the only identifiable animal in the
Yeah.
show. Oh, I guess Gorgonzola is supposed to be an opossum.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck is Andive supposed to be? Carrot anteater elephant hybrid? What?
I can see like anteater.
Yeah, I can see anteater and I can kind of see elephant, but carrot?
Yeah.
She's supposed to also be a carrot? Okay.
All right. So, Alfred. I'm trying to think. So it's either they get into like some sort of cooking contest or something, and Alfred's there as well, or Alfred gets brought in to like help train Chowder and like maybe someone else.
Yeah. Okay. I've got an idea. So, okay, hang on, let me think. So Alfred is I've got it.
Yeah.
So Bruce Wayne is like a high profile client, right? And
Yeah.
Alfred
Yeah.
is like their go between for him. And
Uh,
so Alfred, he's gonna make the order. He's waiting on the food to get made. It's whatever weird food they make.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and like as he's waiting, obviously something goes wrong. Chowder probably screws something up.
Yeah.
Um, and like so, Alfred is either one of two things typically happens: the dish gets ruined and they have to remake it from the beginning,
Right.
or the dish like gets taken away by something and they have to go on an adventure to get it. Like whenever there are episodes centered around making a dish for a customer, those are like the two things that tend to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if the dish gets ruined and they have to make it over from scratch in order to like speed up the process, Alfred like agrees to help for a discount, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the whole thing would basically be like Alfred Pennyworth going through this weird cooking process with the Chowder Gang. But that feels a little too bottle episode-y to me. Like it doesn't encapsulate enough of Chowder as a world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I feel like it might have to be one of those things where like somehow the dish disappears and they have to go get it from somewhere.
Okay.
Like maybe Miss Endive does something.
Miss Endive's stolen our bat burgers. We're making bats into burgers.
Endive has stolen our burger sliders, our bat sliders. We're cooking bats.
Yes, Mungdal, and I'm gonna share this across the world. These uncooked bat sliders.
Oh no!
Till maybe a pandemic or something happens.
Chowder, do you know what will happen if our customer shares uncooked bats with everyone in the world? Everyone will get the poops? No, specifically not that. So don't go out buying a bunch of toilet paper.
Mr. Pennyworth,
no, Schnitzel, no. What is wrong with
Mr. Pennyworth, why does your client order bat burgers all the time?
you? It's a theme, young man. A theme. My little cat, bear, rabbit boy.
What do you even eat, young cat, bear, rabbit boy?
Anything and everything. One of the best jokes in that entire show is the fact that they just used Chowder as a walking storage shed.
Yeah.
Because he'll eat anything.
Yeah.
I want to make a D&D character like that. Alrighty. Alright, so So yeah, the dish disappears. Like Endive sent Panini to sabotage it or something.
Yeah.
Panini leaves like a note behind saying like, sorry. What does she call Chowder? What's her
Honey buns? I don't know.
her
It was honey
nickname for him?
something usually.
She had a specific nickname for him.
Uh,
Was it Snookums or something like that?
maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, so she leaves a note. He does the iconic "I'm not your boyfriend" scream.
Yeah.
Let's see here. They got to go try and get it back. They encounter, people all over town. They ask Gazpacho if he's seen Panini anywhere.
Yeah.
Gorgonzola probably gets in the way at some point. Sets something on fire. Oh, here we go. Gorgonzola uses his candle to set like the coattails of Alfred's butler coat on fire or something.
Oh yeah.
Just to annoy Chowder.
Alfred has to pull off the coat, and it's revealed because you always see Alfred in the coat. He looks like a skinny old man. He pulls it off, and he's like jacked, like he's like super ripped.
Yeah.
It's just the coat's always hidden it very well.
Yeah, and you get the gulp. The cartoon gulp.
Yeah.
And as as Alfred's like coat is caught on fire and he's taking it off to put the fire out and everything, you get Kiwi pops in and be like, "Whoa, is it hot in here or is it just me?" And he flaps his arms and cuts away. And Alfred would be like, "What was that? What was that?" And someone will say like, "No one really knows, honestly." Because, like, what was the point of Kiwi?
Yeah.
Why was he there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. So, let's see. So, who eventually has the food?
I would think Endive, since she sent
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
To get it. So they make it to Endive's place after coming across all the characters and a bunch of and Alfred has witty repartee with all of them, talking about how he can make them a turkey sandwich, and then they make it to Endive's place.
I know that's pretty much a joke. So the turkey sandwich thing. So they make it to Endive's place, and she's like essentially, I don't know what you're talking about. And even if I did, I wouldn't give it up unless you won a baking challenge against me or a cooking challenge against me. And they're all like, fine. Like, what do we have to fix against you? She's like, I've always wanted to make, and I know I can make the best, turkey sandwich. So it kind of lights Alfred's eyes up, and Mungdal's like, oh, Chowder, like I make mediocre turkey sandwiches. I don't know how well I can do with this. I'm used to high class meals.
Chowder, back when I was an apprentice chef, during the months of my life when my teacher was trying to teach me how to make turkey sandwiches, I spent so much time with the ladies that I could barely pay attention. I was growing my mustache at the time, and that just occupied all of my thoughts.
And Alfred's like, well, I can do Alfred's voice. It turns into a million different things. It's basically like, well, I can help you with this. And maybe he like drops a name, and they're like, oh, the world-renowned turkey sandwich chef. It's you? He has like a code name.
Turkey McGee. Or it would have to be some sort of food name, because everyone in the chowder world is named after food.
Yeah. Poop. Let's see. What's kind of not a fancy food, but not a common food?
Okay, not fancy, but not common.
Or it could be fancy, but like usually,
I was gonna say
all
fancy,
the names.
We could call
all
them
the
like,
names aren't like common food.
I am the world-renowned chef Caviar.
Yeah.
You're right. All the names in that show are just kind of common, regular foods, aren't they? Chowder, panini, gazpacho. The gazpacho's not that regular, I guess. But, well, for America, I guess not. But whatever. Gorgonzola.
Yeah, we just do Chef Caviar or whatever.
I am Chef Filet Mignon.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, world-renowned turkey sandwich maker.
And then like she overhears us. She's like, oh, "It can't be."
I refuse to believe it.
Believe it.
And then I guess the conclusion of it is that Alfred makes a turkey sandwich that knocks her socks off.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so the statement is Alfred will say, "I'll make a turkey sandwich that'll blow you away," right? Which you assume is metaphorical. But then Endive like takes a bite of the turkey sandwich and the wind starts picking up. She's like, "No," and like she starts eating the whole thing. She's like, "I can't stop," and like as she like devours the entire sandwich, like this hurricane force wind just sweeps her up and takes her away, and she's yelling like, "I'll get you for this, Mung Dao," and Mung's like, "Woman, I didn't even do anything this time."
Yeah, and then Alfred he walks over to the table, picks up the bag of the
bat sliders.
The food, the bat sliders. Yeah, I was trying to remember what it was. The bat sliders. Is like, now to get cooking, and then they go and cook the bat sliders because, like we mentioned, they're uncooked.
Yeah.
And then it basically ends with like them being like, "Oh, thanks, Mr. Chef Flamin' Yawn," and all that. He's like, "You can call me Pennyworth, but also I want half off."
All right, I think that's another one in the bag.
Boom.
We got it.
All right. So the next one, I forgot about this show until I looked up the list and stuff. Totally Spies.
Ooh, all right. So, here's actually some interesting stuff concerning Totally Spies, and like why it qualifies for this list. Because in America, it aired on Toon Network, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a French Canadian show.
Yeah, it is.
So, And I don't think it aired on Cartoon Network in Canada. I'm not 100% certain they have Cartoon Network in Canada. I think they might have like an equivalent.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but like, because a lot of
hey,
Canadian, I was gonna say a lot of Canadian
hey.
stuff airs on Cartoon Network here.
Yeah, this is a Tune Network.
Hey,
Hey.
yeah, because other like Canadian cartoons that aired on Cartoon Network would be like Johnny Test and
Yeah.
Total Drama. So 16 was one of them.
Yeah, which is weird because I was going to include whenever we were trying to think of the five. I was going to include 16, but I found out 16 originally aired on Nickelodeon for like a year.
Yeah,
Then it got pulled off and went to Cartoon Network. So that's the only
yeah,
reason I never put it on the list.
yeah. Eventually, I think we will need to expand this. If this is something that we revisit in the future, we'll probably need to expand this beyond just Cartoon Network and probably beyond just
Oh yeah,
DC Comics as well.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
cartoons crossing over with popular superheroes is a fun idea.
yeah.
But for now, it's just
But
DC
yeah,
and Cartoon Network.
yeah. I mean, we've had 10 so far, and this episode will likely have five more. So 15. There you go,
Yeah,
DC.
15.
You know how you have like
Yeah,
12 Looney Tunes and DC crossovers? Well, here you go. Here's
yeah,
15.
yeah. Well, if you count the two we just did, it's 12 so far,
Yeah, 12 so
and
far.
then
So,
it'll be 15 by the end of it. However, I don't know that they would have the rights to two of these at least, given what is on the list.
yeah, yeah,
Because Totally Spies, I know, I don't believe is owned by Warner Brothers. So,
yeah.
and I don't think Johnny Test is either. There's a new. Did you see that there's a new Johnny Test show?
Really?
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix, like a
Huh.
Netflix exclusive.
I'll have to check that out. I had no idea there was another one.
Yeah, I wonder if they abuse the whip crack sound effect in this one too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember, especially towards the end, it was like every motion had a whip crack sound effect. Whipsh, whipsh.
Yeah,
God, stop it! I can't act. I actually can't hear the dialogue over this.
yeah. No, it's been a while since I've seen Johnny Test. Let's see. So, all right. So, Totally Spies. So in case anyone doesn't know, Totally Spies. I guess I should have done this with the other ones, but the others are more popular. Like Chowder.
Yeah,
Chowder's pretty popular. Regular Show's pretty
yeah,
popular. Totally Spies nowadays, I forgot about it until I saw the list. Then it all flashed back. Um,
yeah. Like suppressed memories you didn't know you still had.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The reason
I
I
remember watching this show as
liked,
a kid.
yeah, the reason I liked Lady Spies at a young age, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, between this and Kim Possible, like we were kind of primed for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I will say though, Kim Possible had a significantly less, like, if I'm remembering correctly, less weird fetish fuel in it.
Yeah.
Totally
Because with
Spies had some
Totally
weird stuff
Spies,
going on.
yeah, I wanted to mention with Totally Spies. So Totally Spies, it's about these three high schoolers who are spies for this spy organization called like Whoop, I think is what it's called. I forgot what it stands for.
Yeah,
Um, but essentially three high schoolers. One is like this like valley girl. She's always talking like this, and she's like always upset about stuff. Like
yeah. I
you
think
have one of
that's a
those
blonde one, right?
characters,
That's what you're talking about.
the blonde one, yeah, yeah.
I think that's
And then you
Clover.
have yeah,
Yeah,
Clover, and then you have the one with the short black hair. She's like the dumb one, kind of. And then the redhead is just kind of like the average person, like the
yeah.
straight man, kind of.
Okay, okay. I think I know who it is. Okay. Also, looking at it, in America, this show started on ABC Family and moved to Cartoon
Oh,
Network
okay.
later. But So yeah, so as for which characters, which I believe the redhead is Sam,
Okay, yeah.
the blonde is Clover, and the dark-haired girl is Alex.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, like the thing that makes this like not super repetitive in terms of spy stuff is like they are high school girls and like they play up like the high school girl thing of like let's go shopping and all this stuff. Let's do this. Oh, we like cute boys. That's a big thing in the show. Like
Yeah,
pining over cute boys and stuff.
yeah,
Um, and like what's funny about the show, some of it, I don't love the show, but what's funny is like whenever they're out and about doing high school stuff, it's funny the director guy of Whoop, the guy that's like their boss, he looks pretty much exactly like Alfred. Like the guy looks
yeah,
like Alfred.
yeah. It does.
But pretty much anywhere they are, he will like appear in like a monitor or whatever, and like they could be at like a barber shop in the mall or whatever, and then
Yeah,
like the chair flips over like under, and they get like taken down a tunnel, like they slide down a tunnel, where it's like
yeah,
Whoop just has like trap door stuff everywhere to get these spies into the organization. It's funny, like
yeah,
because they'll be at like some random store and they'll be like trying on outfits, looking in the mirror, and then like a mirror projection of the Alfred characters like it's time for another mission. And they're like,
I believe his name is
oh,
Jerry.
Jerry, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
But
But yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of like some stuff within that show.
so you mentioning cute boys, and with this being like vaguely, well, not vaguely, this being super spyish, I have some vaguely super spy type characters to recommend though from DC.
Okay. I
And
was
this is,
thinking of some. I was thinking
yeah,
of
this,
some, but I'm cautious on some. If we do some, we have to like age them down
oh,
because
definitely,
I got to
definitely.
keep in mind that these are high schoolers.
Oh yeah,
Because
no,
the obvious one
that's
is well,
that's
I was going to say
actually
the
in line with what I was going to recommend. Don't
okay.
worry, I wasn't going to recommend like Nightwing or,
Yeah, I was going to
or
say because
anything like
yeah,
that.
like Nightwing's like the obvious like hot guy, but it's like
Yeah.
Nightwing's like late 20s by this point, and it's like kind of
Okay.
weird if he like hits on them back.
So what I'm going to suggest would almost be like Cartoon Network crossing over with itself, but
Mm-hmm.
the show that I'm drawing from is based on DC Comics, so it counts. Um, Basically, the season one Young Justice versions of Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad is who
Yeah.
I have in
I was
mind.
yeah, I was thinking like Tempest or Aqualad because that's like the obvious like hunky guy type thing.
Yeah, yeah. So like season one Young Justice, Dick Grayson, who's like but he's like 13 in season one. How old are
Oh yeah.
the Totally Spies girls supposed to be?
I think at least 16.
Okay. Is that old enough to be weird?
A
I don't know.
little
They're all
bit.
children to me, so it's hard to tell.
Because 13 is still like middle school. It's like 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
you have
So
someone that can drive around in a car, pick them
okay.
up.
So here we go. Instead of Robin, then swap Robin out for Superboy.
Okay, yeah, that works perfectly. A hunky guy with a t-shirt, yeah.
Yep. Hunky guy with a T-shirt that describes Superboy perfectly. He's not
Exactly.
wearing anything else, just a T-shirt.
Yeah, no pants.
No pants. Just a T-shirt.
Yeah. But yeah, so okay, so we got Superboy. Who are the other ones? I forgot.
Kid Flash, which would be like the
Kid
teenage
Flash.
Wally West.
Yeah.
And then Aqualad.
Aqualad. Okay, yeah. That works perfectly. Ooh, and maybe the villain, like the Totally Spies get called by Whoop to like stop a threat. But let's make it a DC threat. It could be Deathstroke.
Yeah. And here's an interesting way that we could actually kind of keep Robin in there. Robin, even though he's usually the field leader, just make him like the guy in the chair alongside Jerry for this.
Yeah.
Like Robin and Jerry are doing stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, that works perfectly.
And Robin has this weird compulsion to continuously call Jerry Alfred. But Jerry be like, shh, no.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Don't reveal my secrets.
That'd be hilarious. Like
Alfred.
secret. Yeah. Jerry's actually Alfred. I like to hang around these young girls because Bruce doesn't give me any attention.
Bruce isn't the only one with young wards that he keeps around. Why is Alfred always just completely creepy when we do jokes about him?
I don't know. Yeah, we always bash Alfred. We don't bash.
Alfred
Batman
is literally one of my two favorite Batman characters, alongside Jim Gordon.
Yeah. But yeah. So Robin's man in the chair with Jerry. I'm trying to think. So whenever they're at the mall or whatever, they're like doing their typical totally spy stuff, like shopping or whatever. They get called. They get sent down a tunnel, and they like a slide tunnel, and they wind up in the Whoop base. And is like Robin and those Young Justice crew, are they there with Jerry?
We'll say Robin is, because I think I have a bit of an idea.
Okay.
Robin is there with Jerry because on Young Justice's most recent covert mission, right, to like deal with Deathstroke and whoever Deathstroke is working with right now. It could be anyone, League of Assassins, Hive, whichever. Three of Robin's teammates got captured. Obviously, Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Superboy. Because I think Superboy is still weak to kryptonite, like Superman is.
Yeah, I think so.
So if they just because I know that Superboy has, like, at least in Young Justice, a really limited version of Superman's power stat. Like in season 1, I'm pretty sure Superboy only had the invulnerability and the super strength.
Yeah.
Like no heat vision, no X-ray vision, no flight, no speed, nothing.
Yeah.
It's just strength and invulnerability. So like those three get captured. And with Aqualad being the leader of the team at the time, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Robin wasn't the leader at that time, was he? It was Aqualad. I forgot that in the show. Yeah. In the show, Dick didn't become the leader until he was Nightwing.
Okay.
Sorry, it's been a long time since I've watched the first 2 seasons of Young Justice, and I still haven't seen seasons 3 or 4 yet.
Yeah, I saw seasons 1 and 2. Yeah, a long time ago now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was surprised that they're still like doing a season 4. I'm happy to hear it. I love that show.
Yeah.
I was just surprised.
Yeah. So let's see. So obviously, Cute Boys. Or wait, no. They haven't seen Cute Boys yet.
Yeah.
So they get sent on a mission to essentially track down Deathstroke.
Yeah. And they're they've got their fancy gadgets. They're like a lip gloss that shoots lasers or whatever it is.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Their pocket mirror that acts as like a hacking device. All their teenage girl James Bond gadgets.
Yeah.
That would also probably be at home in an episode of Kim Possible.
Yeah.
Dang, Why didn't we ever get to see a Totally Spies and Kim Possible crossover?
That's what I was thinking when you mentioned Kim Possible earlier. I was like, if only two like networks could come together.
I know, right? I want that as much as I want a Danny Phantom and American Dragon crossover.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
I want a Danny Phantom and a regular show crossover where Danny's trying to capture High Five Ghost. They're trying to stop it.
Oh, that's awesome. I want a. What do I want? I don't know what I want. I want a regular show and Ninja Turtles crossover. That'd be neat.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're all just playing video games, eating pizza. Yeah. And Master Splinter up. and Master Splinter and Benson are like, get off your butts. You got stuff to do.
Shredder's attacking the park. He's knocking down all the chairs you set up. Cut to Shredder and the Foot Clan just kicking down folding chairs.
Yeah.
Just laughing as they go. We're kicking down your chairs. Anyway, there you go. That's a bonus one for everybody out there.
Yeah.
It's not DC Comics, but, you know.
It's a comic.
I was going to say, at this point, it may as well be, as often as they cross over with Batman.
Yeah.
No, they only did the 3, though, didn't they? Like, the Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing was a trilogy.
Yeah, they did 3, but that's still a lot for crossing over stuff, because usually it's a one-off type thing. But no, they kept it going.
And then they also did another one for the cartoon versions of both characters, I think. Like they did one for like regular Batman and regular Ninja Turtles that are supposed to be like from the comics. And then I think they also did one where it's like cartoon Batman and the at the time current Nickelodeon cartoon Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which to me seems a little overkill, but whatever.
Yeah. So Totally Spies, they go and try to find Deathstroke, and when they find him, Deathstroke's like, ooh, teenage girls. Because of Tara.
Oh, yeah. Maybe let's not go that direction.
No, yeah. Not going to let you live that down, Deathstroke. But in all fairness...
He looks at them and thinks like, oh, you're the same age as my daughter.
It's completely bad, but I should mention, like, Deathstroke didn't love Tara. Like, he was using her the whole time. Tara loved Deathstroke.
Yeah, that makes it so much better.
No, it's still awful. It's still very, 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 very bad. But, like, at least it wasn't, like, a true love type thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's already a 9.99 on the creepy scale. At least it wasn't a 10 with, like, true love.
Congratulations, Deathstroke. You could have been creepier. By the slimmest possible margin.
Yeah. It just shows how kind of disgusting Deathstroke was back then. He would do anything to just get at the Titans.
Yeah. He would do anything and anyone, apparently.
Yeah. All right, so
anyway. But yeah, speaking of the same age as his daughter, I think it would be interesting.
I think your mic cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you accidentally mute your mic?
No. I hear you now. It sounded like your mic had cut out for like a couple seconds.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. But what I was saying was, speaking of Deathstroke's daughter, it would be interesting, I think, if like Ravager was here to like help him.
Yeah,
like if the two of them were working the job together.
Yeah. And you can when you eventually get some fight stuff, you can get like the Totally Spies fighting Ravager. You can get the Young Justice guys fighting Deathstroke, and then you can also switch it. Like mid fight, they all switch.
Yeah, and Deathstroke whips out his real guns to shoot it. To shoot it. You get their over-the-top French Canadian anime expressions.
Yeah,
as they're screaming for their lives. And then you get Jerry. You get Jerry on their like communicators or whatever, being like, "Don't worry, girls. We gave you bulletproof, skin tight uniforms this time. As long as he doesn't aim for your head, you should be fine."
Oh my gosh! He shot Clover. Her brains are everywhere.
Her brains are spilling out of the back of her skull.
Oh, Clover! Oh. You just hear silence. Girls, are you all right?
The last thing you hear screaming and static is the two of them are freaking out while Deathstroke is just ripping them to shreds. And the Young Justice boys come back and they're like, "We couldn't save them." And Jerry's like, "Weird. I thought they were roughly equivalent to Robin's skill level, but I guess I was wrong." You like half your team doesn't have superpowers on it. How do you people survive that guy?
Oh, let's see.
No, that's not the real ending.
No.
All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I think this one might be pretty straightforward, actually. Like, they fight Deathstroke, they beat him, they rescue the boys. They flirt with the boys a little bit, but like, you know, as far as I'm aware, at least Kid Flash and Superboy both had their eyes on someone else by that point.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they'd have been like, "Thanks, but we're into green chicks."
And I know, wasn't this in the comics? I don't know if it was in the show. Isn't Aqualad gay?
I think that he's at least bi, and I think that is in the show as well.
That's right. Okay.
Because I think like in season 3 of the show, he had like a relationship with a dude. I don't know if that stuck around into season 4 or not.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing about it.
You have Superboy and Kid Flash say, "Sorry, I'm into green chicks."
Yeah. Also looking at like the promotional material for like season 4, Megan isn't shading her skin green anymore.
Oh, really?
She's just letting her whiteness fly.
Oh, okay.
And by whiteness, for anyone who's not familiar with these characters, the character I'm talking about is a Martian, and there are two species of Martian from Mars, the green ones and the white ones. And when I say white, I don't mean like white humans. I mean like literally like Snow White.
Yeah.
Like pale skin sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So but looking at posters and stuff for season 4 of Young Justice, it's looking like Megan is like completely out as a white Martian. Like people just know now. I really hope she and Superboy got back together at some point. I was so mad when season 2 started and they had broken up.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's this. We can't. We can talk about Young Justice later. We can't let this become like a Young Justice rant podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, they find out the guys aren't that into it.
Yeah, we're into green chicks.
Yeah, we're into green chicks, and Aqualad is into the show's Martian Manhunter. I'm into green dudes.
So the girls go home disappointed and unsatisfied.
Yeah, they stop Ravager and Deathstroke, but at the end of the day, they failed the mission in their eyes. They didn't get the guys.
Yeah. Because that's what it's all about, right? You rescue the guy and then you get the guy as a reward.
Yeah, it's how it's always been in classic cinema.
Yeah.
Girl rescue
That's why
guy.
they call it dude in distress.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
the
know
dude in distress.
I don't know what the masculine equivalent of damsel is. So
Dude works.
yeah. Which probably says a lot about the way we view characters and stuff. The fact that I don't know what the masculine equivalent of damsel is, so I can like
I
do
think
the
that's
subversion
most people
appropriately.
because I think that's most people just because that's just how media and shows and movies have been for the longest
Yeah,
time. That like the dude in distress type thing is like fairly new compared to damsel in distress.
yeah. And even then, I think we still kind of refer to it as damsel in distress, even when it's the dude, because
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
easier to call the trope that way.
yeah. So yeah, they go shopping to cure their not getting dudes feeling.
Yeah.
And Jerry uh, looks at Robin as Robin.
I lost you
It's
again
me.
there for a minute. I didn't hear that.
I was saying like Jerry like looks over at Robin and whispers. He's like, "Psst, Robin, it's me. It's Alfred."
What? What are you doing here? What is this? Why are you doing this? You have a mansion to live in. Do you really need extra pay? That much? I'm pretty sure I can talk Bruce into giving you a raise.
Robin, I haven't told Bruce this yet, but his trust fund ran out 15 years ago.
So it's less like I'm looking for extra money. I'm paying him at this point.
I'm trying to keep up the illusion for Bruce.
We can't let the fantasy die. This is really weird, Alfred.
I have to continue to be able to pay him and pay the different villains to keep up his fantasy, and I have to keep dressing as Joker and make it seem like he has an arch enemy.
You're an enabler, Alfred.
Did you ever read I think it was Neil Gaiman. It was like 2 issues. It was like whatever happened to the Cape Crusader or something like that.
No, but I think I generally know what the story is.
Yeah, it's like a metaphorical like Batman's funeral type thing, and like all his rogues gallery and Alfred and everyone shows up, and they all like give like their funeral speeches and stuff like that. And Alfred gives his. Yeah. And Alfred gives his, and like within his, he reveals like each one's different, but in his he reveals that like he had been like paying the villains like Riddler and stuff to like help egg Bruce on to give him something to do, and he fell into it and realized like Bruce needed an arch rival, and so he became the Joker. It's like it's a what if type thing, but it was really
obviously. Yeah. I know there are some people who like hold on to that as like a legit like fan theory for official canon, but for me it's like like as far like it's a cool what if, but as far as like fan theory material goes, I've always hated it.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all if you're actually trying to make it canon, but like it's a nice little 2-issue story that Neil Gaiman did.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
I think we're ready to move on to number 4 is next. Is that right?
Yes. So we tackled Chowder, Regular Show, and Totally Spies. All right, so let's see. We'll go with Johnny Test next.
Johnny Test. Alrighty, let me look it up on Wikipedia real quick.
Dang, I'm thinking about it now. There's like too many that come to my head, like in terms of that could possibly work with it. None of them I'm like nailing down as like, yes, this will be certain. But like, let's see. If you want to go like the scientific route, like Cyborg or the Atom, or if you want to go like the more fun route, you could do like Plastic Man.
Yeah. Plastic
Or
Man.
if you want like, yeah, or if you want like a kid that he's like hanging around, it could be like Impulse or like Damian Wayne or something.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you mentioned the science route, I was thinking, in addition to like Cyborg and the Atom, I was thinking like Mr. Terrific or Ted Kord's Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of like Plastic Man. Or who was the other one you mentioned for the fun section?
Impulse or Damian Wayne.
Impulse. Booster Gold is another good one.
Yeah.
Because time travel is like, you know, the prototypical sci-fi trope.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of their town is Pork Belly. And it says here on Wikipedia, they reside in the fictional town of Pork Belly, which is in either the United States or Canada.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a Canadian show. So,
yeah.
Goodness gracious. What a ridiculous show this was.
I'm trying to think. So I'm thinking of like premises for each. Like if you go, like I kind of have to knock Cyborg out because I can't really think of anything other than like some other stuff. Like what I'm thinking of is like if you go the Impulse route, it's the more like two kids having fun type thing.
Yeah.
And probably causing a little bit of havoc. If you go the Robin route, the Damian Wayne Robin, you have Johnny who's like, I think about it now, Johnny's fun, but he does have kind of like a Damian Wayne, not dark mindset, but like he kind of has a little bit of that there.
Yeah.
And then like with the Atom, the only thing I can think is like the sisters are working with the Atom on something, and then Johnny steals the Atom suit and does all kinds of mischievous things with the Atom suit.
Well, that's just our Ant-Man reboot.
Yeah.
That's just our Ant-Man reboot at that point.
Yeah, and then with Plastic Man could be like a thing that the sisters are studying because it's this rubber man and stuff like that. But it could also be like Johnny like doesn't break him out. It's not like he's like held captive, but Johnny's like, hey, like come with me, you'll have more fun with me. And Plastic Man, he likes fun. Even though he's an adult, like he'll go hang out with a kid. Not saying Johnny does this, but if Plastic Man was like, hey, let's go like peep at girls or whatever. Like I'm not saying that's what happens, but like
So to me, the thing about Johnny Test is so Johnny Test is like this weird three-way crossroads between Jimmy Neutron, Dexter's Lab, and the Fairly Odd Parents. A lot of like the premise of each episode usually comes down on Johnny's sisters have like developed some weird thing and they're testing it on him. So Johnny gets some like in either a really ridiculous like physical ailment or some incredible ability. And like the premise of the episode either comes from they have to find a cure for whatever ailment this is, or he's probably going to explode or something. he misuses whatever incredible ability he received, and like he has to make up for it somehow. Like
Oh
those are
yeah,
like
yeah.
the two base premises for a Johnny Test episode.
Okay.
So for me, I'm thinking if it's like a Plastic Man thing, and they're like studying Plastic Man, I think some like a lot of that is like somehow like Plastic Man allowed the sisters to like synthesize his powers, and they tested it on Johnny,
Yeah, yeah,
and Johnny ends up with Plastic Man powers for an episode.
yeah, yeah. That works.
Or if it's other characters, like something along those lines generally.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think because I would like, yeah, because Johnny, like you said, would get some sort of ability. I kind of want like a, is it Doogie?
Dookie.
Dookie. Dookie to possibly get something as well, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, because Dookie would usually also like get some sort of weird power or something
Yeah,
alongside
yeah,
Johnny, or suffer the consequences of whatever weird thing happened in some way, just from
yeah.
his proximity to him. But yeah, so I'm thinking. So if it okay, and if it was a character like Damian Wayne, I would expect Ace the Bat Hound to join. Uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
just for Dookie to have another dog to play off of.
Right, right.
Hmm. If it's something like another scientist character in general, huh? Yeah, and oh, and Booster Gold would also be interesting too because it's like one of those things where if you could do like a time travel sort of thing, like uh, where Booster Gold, like Johnny somehow accidentally ends up traveling through time with Booster Gold.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, there are a lot of characters here that could fit for like a Johnny Test crossover. Hmm. I'm thinking.
Trying to pick
Yeah.
one.
This one's harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because there's different options.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to eliminate some options to help us.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Okay, we'll do this. Okay, so either Booster Gold, the Atom, or Plastic Man.
Okay. So the Atom, I feel like no matter what we do with the Atom in like a Johnny Test sort of episode, it would kind of be a retread of something that's happened before. Either it would be a
Yeah,
retread of our own Ant-Man idea that we did for our Marvel reboot, or it would be a retread of an actual Johnny Test episode where he shrunk so small he went to an alternate reality.
yeah, it feels like something that's happened there. All right, so cut the Atom out. So Plastic Man or Booster Gold.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Oh,
like
that's
the idea of him like time traveling with Booster Gold until he's stuck in a It's a Wonderful Life sort of situation, where he's got to try and get back to like the right timeline.
yeah, yeah. I like that. We'll go with Booster Gold.
Yeah, okay, because I don't know, like if Johnny's not like getting Plastic Man powers, I don't know what to do with a Plastic Man episode.
Well, it would be like he gets Plastic Man powers, but it's also I was just trying to think like what would it be other than them just having like wacky childlike stuff
Yeah,
with Plastic Man powers.
yeah, yeah. Because like the only logical conclusion to that is like the guys in white show up, or was that what they were
Yeah,
called?
yeah.
No, that's from Danny Phantom. Uh, those two
It
government
was like the
agents who
Men
are
in
always hanging
Black or
around.
something.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
were basically. Well, see, that's the thing. They were clearly supposed to be a parody of the Men in Black, but like
yeah, yeah.
they. But I called them the guys in white because that's what the Men in Black guys in Danny Phantom were called.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, so But yeah, those two like government agent guys, Mr. Black and Mr. White, I think is what they were called,
Yeah.
would and now that I think about it, that's a pretty like kind of edgy joke for a kids show, especially coming out at the time that it did, because Mr. Black and Mr. White were a black guy and a white guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but hey, Canadian
Let's
shows for kids usually had edgier humor than American shows back then.
Yeah. I'm also thinking, like, we don't have to use this character. It could just simply be Johnny and the superhero do their thing. Is Bling Bling Boy ever present?
I forgot about him. Bling Bling Boy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, because Bling Bling Boy, he's always wearing like, gold, right? He's always got that bling on him. It's like Booster
Yeah,
Gold shows up and takes Johnny and Doogie on a time travel adventure.
Yeah.
It's like, why would Booster Gold not take me, Bling Bling Boy? On a time travel adventure. So I can prove to, what are the names? Susan and Mary? Prove to Susan and Mary how cool I am and date them both.
The big twist towards the end is Booster Gold is just older Johnny Test.
That's terrible. So I'm just realizing now how weird most of this show was. Like Bling Bling Boy, right? So was his goal to date both of the Test sisters or either of them? Like, because he was always trying to impress the both of them, right? Is it one of those things where it's like they look the same, so I'll take either of them, or?
Well, maybe it's both. I think it was both.
Or
now
was
that
it?
I think about it.
Or I don't remember. Was it that he had a specific one he was interested in? Well, now I gotta hang on. I gotta look. Because I can't remember now. And this is gonna bother me for the rest of the week. I'm gonna set that down there. Okay, let me look. Secondary characters. Come on, where is he? Recurring characters. Oh my gosh, he's got to be on this list somewhere.
Yeah, he was like a prominent.
He was like the main antagonist. Here we go, villains.
Yeah.
Bling Bling Boy. The prominent antagonist. Which noise would be? Multi-millionaire with unlimited funds. Susan. He was into Susan specifically.
Okay. Is Susan the one? Because you can tell them a little bit apart. One of them has just like kind of straight hair. The other is kind of like curved / like waved.
Yes, Susan was the one with like the more square head with the straight hair.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
And Mary had like the pointy hair.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. So we'll go with the Booster Gold and Johnny Test one.
All right. With Bling Bling Boy as the villain, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any Booster Gold villains.
Yeah. Because you just
does he have any villains specific to him?
I'm sure, but they're probably not like huge DC villains.
Yeah, it's weird. DC's got a lot of like secondary characters like Booster Gold that are popular by themselves, even though like no one knows anything about them or knows who their villains might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I heard a lot of casual DC fans talk about Booster Gold, but like nobody ever really knows a whole lot about him.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe okay, so starting off maybe like Johnny's doing his typical Johnny thing, playing as a kid or playing with like some sort of contraption the sisters made. And while he's doing that, just out of nowhere, like a portal rips open and Booster Gold goes flying through it. Oh, and you can also include Skeets, his little robot thing. Since Johnny has Dookie, Booster has Skeets. And so like Booster goes flying through the portal and like gets up. He's like, oh crap, like where am I? And like he like looks at his little armband thing to try to go to a different time thing, but it's not working. So like, oh no, like I'm stuck in wherever I am. And the animation is of me looks weird.
Yeah.
But
That's odd. My motion is very stiff, and every sudden action I do is accompanied by a whip crack sound effect.
it could be one of those things where like it happens basically like right in front of Johnny while he's doing something, and it eventually leads to like Johnny being like, well, my sisters can like help or whatever, and so they go.
My sisters build time machines in their spare time.
Yeah, they go into like the sisters' lab, and I would say they fix, or a lot of times it's like they would build it, but there might be like a little problem to it, or if not, they could fix it, and then like Johnny just does something accidentally, and it sends him, Dookie, Booster, and Skeets into like another time period.
Yeah. There was always at least like one thing wrong with the experiments the sisters would do, which is why they would test it on Johnny.
Yeah.
Because like, because to them, I believe Johnny was considered expendable.
Yeah. We just always make another brother.
Pretty much. Who's to say that the one that we watch in the show isn't already cloned from the original?
That's a good fan theory. I think I like that because it seems believable.
Yeah, and who's to say it's not a new Johnny every episode, considering I'll probably end up killing him.
Yeah.
Just a new Johnny and Dookie every episode.
I was about to say, how many Dookies have we went through?
Yeah.
All right, so they go to some time period. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, we'll have to nail down which one it is. They go to the 1860s. They talk about how the Civil War may or may not have affected them, depending on whether or not they're in America or Canada.
Man, the 1860s are great here in Canada. This is amazing. What a time to be alive.
All right. So they go back to we gotta make it something simple, right? We could basically make this a Back to the Future type thing. They go back to like whenever Johnny's parents were kids, and he has to make sure they get together.
Oh yeah.
And that's just the plot of the episode is Johnny Test and Dookie and Booster Gold and Skeets before they can get back to the present after a time machine malfunction have to make sure Johnny Test's parents end up together.
Yeah. And you see like how Johnny's dad became like this Mr. Mom neat freak guy. Because when you go back, they're in like high school or whatever, or middle school, whatever it is. And it turns out like Johnny's dad is like this super cool guy. He's like this tough guy. But eventually he becomes this like Mr. Dad neat freak guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll find out how his mom became so
his meatloaf.
It's meatloaf. And you find out how his mom became like such a like business-minded businesswoman.
Yeah.
Who businesses all over the place. I'm going to be honest, I remember more about his dad than his mom from that show.
Yeah, I just know she was like a businesswoman. She
Yeah.
wasn't in that many episodes now, I think about it.
No, his dad had a lot more to do, probably because of the
He's
type
home.
of character he was. Yeah, he's home.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, he's got a leather jacket and everything. he's walking down the parking lot of the school doing his Spider-Man 3 finger guns and all that.
Yeah. Taking the chewed gum off of the undersides of railings and eating it.
And everyone in that day and time, they're like, man, that's super cool.
That's super cool. How'd you know that was under there? It's like, just a little trick. Just a little trick, my man. Because obviously they're going to use the same voice actor.
Yeah. And at this point, like, he does gross stuff like that. Whereas in the future, he wouldn't even think about doing that because it's germs and disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically just have, like, at some point, Johnny just make an offhand comment about, like, there are tons of germs all over that stuff, right? It's like, that's been in other people's mouths. And his dad's just like, I never thought about it that way before. Spits it out. Like, where else can germs be found? God, I'm turning into abridged Krillin. Quack.
But yeah, and a part of this, you also see how like his dad. Oh, it could be like this is like a little joke that can be made towards the end once they finally get like the parents together. Like Johnny's like, okay, like I think we've got it before they go back into present and they fix the time thing and all that, like their time machine and all that. Before they do that, they're like, oh, I could do something for me and the family. I could make sure Dad knows how to cook a meatloaf properly. And he like slips correct recipe or whatever, or just like helps push him to like getting it just right. Like a very tiny little joke. And then they go back into the present and it's like apocalypse. Apocalypse has happened. It's just like insane. It's like everything's a wasteland. And they're like, what? Really? Like me making sure my dad's meatloaf caused all this? They're like, fine, we'll go back and make sure he like still makes crappy meatloaf. And then they come back to the future and everything's normal.
Yeah, because they look off into the distance and they see that like a giant meatloaf monster is laying waste to everything. And like, fine.
I am the great meatloaf. No meatloaf is more superior.
Great mighty Pooh.
But yeah, that could be
I'm not
like
gonna sing the rest of that.
Yeah, that's just like an end joke to the episode. Is if you changed how he cooks the meatloaf, that causes an apocalypse. But yeah, he does make sure his parents get together.
Dang, Booster Gold almost didn't need to be here for this one. That just sounds like a Johnny Test episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what did Booster Gold do?
Provided the means of time travel.
Yeah.
But that was basically it.
Oh, it could be one of those things where like maybe like because Booster Gold thinks he's like the coolest thing ever. That's like a joke within Booster Gold is he thinks he's so cool when really he's like a little bit lame.
Yeah.
Maybe like I don't know, somehow the dad maybe like catches a glimpse of Booster Gold. Or like maybe okay, so Booster Gold's like, man, this guy's just like talking to the dad. He's like, you're as cool as me, man. That's awesome. And then the dad like looks at him. He's like, wait, I'm like you. No, this can't be. No. like being compared to Booster Gold makes him want to like change his ways.
That's perfect. You're such a dork. Alrighty, I think that's number 4 in the bag.
Yeah. Got one more.
One more, and this is the one where we haven't quite. We got ideas for like 2, but we haven't quite decided yet which one it's going to be.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm trying to think. So it's either going to be My Gym Partner's a Monkey or Camp Laszlo. And I've got like, because I was thinking about this as we were talking about one of the ones previously. Maybe 2 or 3 possible options for each one, and maybe it could help us decide. Or all 3 of these options could be crap. Either like Detective Chimp or Jimmy Olsen, or if it's Camp Laszlo, Swamp Thing. But like that only goes so far because like it's like it's like a scary monster, but then Swamp Thing's like not that bad. So
Yeah,
maybe trash that one.
yeah. Okay, I think. Yeah, Camp Laszlo is a little bit more limiting because it's all anthropomorphized animals.
Yeah.
Whereas in My Gym Partner's a Monkey, it's specifically animals and people together.
Yeah.
I think maybe Gym Partner might be the better one to go with.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was thinking like if we do Gym Partner, Detective Chimp or Jimmy Olsen could work. If it's Detective Chimp, it's this it could just be one of these. It's like a chimp undercover as like a student there. Because I should mention, if anyone hasn't seen My Gym Partner is a Monkey, it's the school full of animals, but there's one human that goes to the school. Like his mom or someone like signed him up to the wrong school, or they didn't have like the proper way to get to the human school, so he's going to the animal school.
Here's the reason that's provided in the theme song for the show. So the main character's name is Adam Lyon, spelled Lyon, and so there was a mistake with like paperwork filing and stuff that got him assigned to an animal school.
Okay, I got you now. All right. So
and it's something that I always found interesting because this was like the first show outside of SpongeBob that I actually recognized his voice from. Tom Kenny is the voice of Jake the Spider Monkey.
Oh, really? I guess that makes sense now that I think about it.
Tom Kenny is the voice of the titular monkey.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
And then after that, I started being able to recognize his voice everywhere because like I had heard his voice in a ton of stuff outside of SpongeBob, but this was just the first one that I noticed it in.
Yeah.
The voice he does for Jake is really similar to his SpongeBob voice.
Yeah, when I think about it now, yeah.
Then I started noticing, like, oh yeah, he's Dog from Cat Dog, and
yeah, his Jake is basically like just a slightly deeper SpongeBob voice.
Yeah, and he's also the voice of Heifer in Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh dang!
Yeah, he's everywhere. He's Squanchy in Rick and Morty. Though I don't think that's the only Rick and Morty character he does the voice of. That's just the most notable.
Yeah.
What else does he do? He's in a lot of stuff. He was Starscream in one of the Transformers shows.
Oh, dang.
Yep. And he was a great Starscream for that show in particular. I remember one of the ones that came after. I think my favorite Starscream personally is Steve Bloom, but Tom Kenny did a great Starscream.
Okay.
Because Steve Bloom was the voice of Starscream in Transformers Prime, and he was like, obviously the Steve Bloom. So,
Yeah.
When you got Spork Spargler from Manhunter Boop Boop doing doing your villain voices, they're going to be good.
Yeah. Okay, so with My Gym Partner's a Monkey, if it's Detective Chimp, again, it's like he's undercover at the school, almost like a 21 Jump Street type thing.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to figure out something. There's something going on in the school of animals. Or if it's Jimmy Olsen does like he's on wacky cases or wacky reports all the time.
Yeah.
It could be like the Daily Planet's like do a report on the animal school. Like
Yeah.
they've got some fundraiser or something coming up. Want you to do a report on it, sit in on classes, join in and the camaraderie, and just
Yeah.
report on it.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if you're going for like a weird like Silver Age Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen sort of vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
Would be because like Jimmy got turned into a gorilla a lot.
Yeah.
Gorillas were everywhere in the Silver Age.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So I am trying to remember so much about this show. It is like I watched it a lot when I was younger, but it is hard to remember certain things.
Yeah, it's basically like school life with animals. Like you have like animal type classes as well as like animal gym and all that. Like it's school for animals basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which of these characters were important. Other than Adam and Jake.
Main two, yeah. I'm trying to think who else.
You got Principal Pixie Frog. I remember him being brought up a lot.
Let me see.
Mrs. Warthog was a pretty prominent teacher character.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. The main ones I'm seeing a lot are the there's like a snake, a giraffe that it never. I like this joke. It never shows the head. It's like the neck going off screen.
Right. I remember that. You never see their head.
Yeah, a toucan and then like a gorilla by the looks of it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, looking at the main cast listed is obviously Adam Lion, Jake Spider Monkey, Windsor Gorilla, Slips Python, Lupe Toucan, Ingrid the Giraffe, which would be the one who's you never see their face, Bull Sharkowski, and then Principal Pixie Frog.
That's right. And like Bull Sharkowski's like the bully or something.
Yeah. Dang, dude, looking at like the cast list for this, it's like these are all voice actors whose voices I never hear in anything anymore.
Dang.
Like Maurice LaMarche, Phil Lamar. I still hear Tom Kenny's voice everywhere, but that's because he's Tom Kenny.
Yeah, yeah.
Cree Summer? I don't remember the last thing I watched that had her voice in it. Dang. Anyway.
Let's see. Old man chimp acting as a student and trying to figure something out, or Jimmy Olsen along for a crazy ride?
I think I like the idea of Detective Chimp jump streeting it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we got to figure out what is Detective Chimp investigating.
Okay, let's see. Well, you see, there's a new drug that hit the animal school. And Ice Cube has got him to...
Judy Hopps, voiced by Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Judy Hopps from Zootopia.
Listen here,
See, you can't even do an impression of it.
No,
with
because I watched it recently, and that's like every sentence.
yeah, like with the content we try to manage for our stuff, like you can't even do an impression of that without like
Yeah, we try to keep it PG.
yeah.
Let's see. Why is he there?
He's there to investigate. Okay, I've got it. He's trying to. I don't remember whether or not this would be in character for the principal, but this was a common like trope for like authority figures in kids' cartoons growing up. So I'm just gonna run with it. He's
Yeah.
investigating the principal for tax fraud.
Ah, there we go.
Again, I don't remember whether or not that would be in character for the principal, but I'm just used to that being like the standard sort of thing in
Yeah.
kids shows at the time.
Tax evasion. Yeah.
Yeah, like tax evasion, like authority figures being horrible cheapskates, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So he's investigating Principal Pixie Frog for tax fraud, and he gets in with like the main group because like Jake's a monkey, so Jake is friendly with him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a monkey. You're a chimp. That's basically the same thing."
Yeah, Detective Chimp. Because from what I remember in like some of the animated movies and stuff, he has like a not a British voice, but at least like a refined voice. So he has to
Yeah,
like kind of like
yeah, like a
he
Sherlock
has to
Holmes
kind
type.
yeah he has to like kind of like bring his voice down to like a teen voice, but it's clearly like this is like an adult acting like.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, he's Steve Buscemiing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm a monkey. You're a chimp. Adam's a human. We're all basically the same thing. So yeah, dang, oof, goodness. This one's hard. Literally, the only reason this one is hard though is because I'm having a hard time remembering the characters and their personalities.
Yeah.
I probably should have tried to watch an episode or two of this show before jumping into this.
Let's see. The main thing I'm trying to think is like wacky little ventures that lead to him finally finding out about the tax fraud or whatever. But when you find out about the tax fraud, it's got to be like a silly, funny, dumb thing. Like he's been skimping out on not saying this is it, but skimping out on paying the taxes for his collection of anime figures or body pillows or whatever. Not saying it's that. But
Paying taxes for I don't know, man. I honestly have no idea where to go with this one.
let's see. Oh, he's been taking some of the I'm trying to think of school programs because he's been taking some of the funds from a school program and putting it towards like something he wants, something that's like embarrassing or goofy or whatever.
Okay, here's one thing. One like comedic through line for the whole thing is that like the school lunches have been getting particularly gross. I mean, obviously by human standards it would all be gross because it's all for animals, but
Yeah.
like it's been getting like not even the animal students want to eat any of it
Yeah.
because that's the part of the budget that
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
is lunches, like
Yeah, the
one of the
lunch
most
fund.
important things to fund in a school.
Yeah. And a big thing, we could say like a big thing is like he hasn't been taking in any teachers or students into his office, like for meetings or even like disciplining kids. When he disciplines kids, he like speaks through a microphone outside the door, or like speaks through the door or something like that. Same thing with
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah.
And whatever that embarrassing thing is in his office. And you eventually find that out at the end whenever they eventually break into the office or bust down the door,
A
and you see
ceramic
the
unicorn
embarrassing.
collection. It's a ceramic unicorn collection.
There we go.
We've done it.
He's just got shelves upon shelves of ceramic unicorns everywhere, and he has like one of those rides you would see in like the mall or something. You put a quarter in,
Yeah.
and it's a unicorn one of that though. Just rides that all day.
Yeah. And then, of course, like you have, you just have a moment where like the rumor starts spreading through this, or not rumor, but like the fact that he has this giant ceramic unicorn collection starts spreading through the school, and like you got some horse students like, I'm uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right,
Yeah,
so is that
I think that pretty much solves it. Yeah, and like
is that number
Detective
5?
Chimp is with them. Yeah, Detective Chimp was with them whenever they break down the door and all that, and uh, he doesn't go to jail or anything like that. It's a kid show.
Yeah.
They make him like I don't know, do something with the ceramic unicorns. Whether it's like give them out to the kids and he's just crying as he's like handing them out or something.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the thing is he's embezzling funds from the school to afford this, so I feel like the punishment is that he has to sell it so that he can pay for the school lunches.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, he sells all the ceramic unicorns. He's like, okay, that should do it. And they're like, what about your little unicorn ride machine? It's like, no. You got the ceramic unicorns. Please, not my ride.
Not my coin operated rocking unicorn ride. It's anything but that.
Yeah. And then So it then cuts to them at lunch eating good food, them thanking Detective Chimp, and it was revealed in that office, like Detective Chimp was like freeze, that sort of stuff. He's like a cop, and they in the lunchroom they're talking to him because they realize he's now an adult, and they're like saying their goodbyes to Detective Chimp and all that. And it pans over because usually this is how it should be. Teachers will eat in the lunchroom just at like their own separate table, and it shows the principal like kind of like sobbing, and he's sitting in a chair, but he's like sitting like backwards in the chair, and he's like pretending to like I'm not trying to sound like he's like humping the chair, and it was like pretending it's like riding the unicorn.
Yeah. Like just rocking back and forth on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sobbing and yelling, "Giddy up!"
yeah, and that's the end of the episode. Yeah.
There we go. Oh gosh.
Perfect.
We did the best we could with that last one.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, well then, since that's it, are we doing like normal plugs and recommendations for the stream?
Yeah, we can.
All right. Now, I am going to warn you because I'm doing this. For anyone wondering, I am doing this through my phone. My battery is starting to go, and I have to keep headphones plugged in, so I can't plug a charger in while we're streaming.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So just to let you know, like
Yeah.
I mean, we have time to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just I just got the 20% warning.
Oh, okay, I got you.
All right, Brandon. If you don't give me plugs and recommendations right now, and I mean it, I mean right now, this very instant, I will make you doubt your life path to such an extent that you lose the ability to do anything that made you special as an individual in the first place.
Oh no. Gonna make me doubt buying all these ceramic unicorns and this unicorn operated ride.
Yes.
I thought this was my path. What am I without my unicorns? All
You're
right.
nothing. You're nothing without your unicorns.
All right. You can check out stuff I'm working on at Dismay Comics on Facebook and Instagram. That's DISMAY Comics. Um, uh, uh, the Gallows Man #2, that should most likely go live on Kickstarter like late January. At the latest, like early February, but late January should be good. Um, Currently, by the end of today, I think both covers for the Gallows Man #2 will be done. I like the way both have turned out, and the artists after that are working on the back covers because that's something that I think gets overlooked a lot by some people. Is like, oh, you need like decent back cover. Don't just have black and then like random, like your barcode and your emblem or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Well, you
do
know,
a little something.
the usual like industry standard for back covers is to have an ad there, I think.
Yeah, an ad. Yeah. No, I'm going to have my ads on the inside and not in between the story, at the very end of the story. Like
Bold.
once the story's over, I know a new direction.
You are a
Like
trailblazer.
Image and Boom does that. I'm glad they do that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like more info on that as it comes about. Let me see. I guess it's all for plugs. Recommendations. Got a few, not that many, honestly. I'll go through them pretty quick. First one is like my #1 recommendation. Vagabond. It's a manga. I've read all of Vagabond. It's 37 volumes. I put in quotations, I finished it. It's not truly done. It's been on hiatus for about 6 years now. But even if it never comes off of hiatus, I am happy with what I have because it's one of my favorite comic, manga, manhwa that I've ever read. It might not be my pinpoint favorite, but it's definitely like, I'd probably put it top 5. I like it a lot. Because it's like, I don't know, it's different than a lot of manga. One, because it takes place in a very far back time in the early 1600s Japan, kind of towards the end of like the samurai era. Can't even talk right now. But follows legendary sword master Miyamoto Musashi, and kind of his early years, because Miyamoto Musashi is known as like this great swordsman. This is like real history, like this great swordsman, and he's like a great philosopher. He wrote a few books. He's most well known for the Book of the Five Rings, I think is what it's called. But he's like a very great philosopher. I don't agree with everything that he says because I'm a Christian, and there's certain stuff he'll say where it's like, like, I don't know about that. But there's a decent bit of philosophy that like I like and learned through finding out about him, as well as through this book, because I think the mangaka of this book like very much stayed in tune with Miyamoto Musashi in terms of like, yes, he's a sword fighter. He's also like he, for him to be this like philosophical writer, he had to like learn this stuff on the way. And this series is basically like his early years. Like the first volume starts at age 17. And just kind of like him developing into this great swordsman slash philosopher. And I love this series. Not just the main character, but all the side characters are super developed. Even like side, not even antagonists. There's no like villain in the story. Everyone has like they're antagonists, but I wouldn't call them villains. Like everyone has like their reasons for stuff, and it feels very real. Yeah, there's like side antagonists that I think are done very well whenever I think about it. Because there's like one, this is just one example. This isn't spoiling anything. There's this one guy that Musashi says, or like the guy, they fought this one time and it was basically a draw. Like the antagonist was honestly probably going to win, but the antagonist was like, I'll give you 1 year. 1 year, we will meet back here and we will fight again. And we'll see who will win, basically. That year passes. The antagonist gets a little bit stronger. Musashi gets a lot more stronger, a lot more wise. And it's basically like these 9 days leading up to their fight of this antagonist being like ultimately kind of understanding like, I'm probably going to lose, but he's still trying to like keep that hope of like, I still am going to stick to my word. I'm still going to fight him. Because even like his like students and stuff, because he has like a dojo basically. Like some of them are like just like back down from it, or like tell him this or that, and he's just like, you see him like kind of crying. He's like, why can't you guys have hope for me? What I need right now is like some hope from you guys. That's what I need right now. And like just seeing him live through these 9 days leading up to this fight, and like training his best through these 9 days with at least a little inkling in the back of his mind of like, I probably won't come out of this alive. Like just, and that's just one tiny character, but like all the characters are great in this series. I love Vagabond. I hope it continues. I hope the mangaka picks it up. If he doesn't, though, it's still very good. I highly recommend it to anyone. It's got some of the best manga art, I would say, as well. Like everyone says, like Berserk is up there. Berserk's great at art, but maybe this is controversial or whatever. But I think Vagabond has better art than Berserk.
Oh, blasphemer!
Exactly. Yeah.
That's quite the statement there. I haven't seen enough art from either to make a statement on that myself, but like I know how people feel about Berserk. So
yeah, I say that now because Berserk does have good art, and I will admit I'm only on volume 17 of Berserk right now. I know there's 41 volumes. I know the mangaka can get, it progresses. A lot of them, they get better and better as it goes on. But the art is good for Berserk. Don't get me wrong. It's really good compared to a lot of manga. But Vagabond, like everything is just like so beautiful. Like every single page is just so beautiful. I know what everything is being conveyed. And I'll say with Vagabond, it's the most consistent in art from the very beginning. And I'm not bashing artists who get better throughout the series. I'm just saying with Vagabond, it was like amazing art from the beginning. And it stayed with that consistent amazingness throughout the whole series. Whereas Berserk, the first 2 or 3 volumes, it's good art, don't get me wrong, but there is a progression at it getting better and better as it goes on, to where it does get amazing. But the first couple of volumes, it was good, just not like insane amazing.
Yeah.
As of right now, I haven't finished Berserk, so I can't truly confirm, but as of right now, I like Vagabond more than Berserk. But that could always change by the time I get through Berserk. But yeah, highly recommend Vagabond. I love it. This is a 1 minute recommendation. You won't be able to do it now, or actually, you will be able to do it now. If you
I don't know
get
what
the
to
chance to
believe.
see, if you get the chance to see any Studio Ghibli movie in the theaters, I recommend doing it. Like, try to do it. My Neighbor Totoro was in theaters this weekend, and I've already seen My Neighbor Totoro, but watching it in theaters, I loved it. It was a great experience. Um, and I think it's playing Thursday night, like this Thursday night at AMC theaters. Um, and then that's it. And then the plus side is the reason I recommend Studio Ghibli movies in movie theaters is every year during the fall time they play 3 or 4 Studio Ghibli movies in the theater. So
Yeah.
if you don't get to see this Thursday, wait till next year. You got 4 more you can watch.
Yeah, yeah. They like Studio Ghibli movies. There's so many of them that like they're having anniversaries every year. So like
Oh
yeah, they
yeah,
re-release them for certain milestones a lot.
yeah, but yeah,
Speaking of,
I highly. Oh,
oh
what are you
sorry,
about to say?
no, I was saying speaking of which, that's a little bit of a foreshadowing for some recommendations I have, or well, a
Oh,
recommendation.
nice.
I've only got one today. So.
I got you. And then my last recommendation, uh, I got to. I'm not saying Berserk is bad. Don't hear that, people. What I'm saying is I finished the Golden Age arc, and then I read through basically a tiny arc that happens after the Golden Age. If you've read Berserk, it's the like the battling the elves type arc. I think it's called like
Gosh,
the
there are
Lost
elves in
Children.
Berserk.
Yeah.
I thought it was all just. I thought the only like fantasy thing in there was like demons.
No, that's the thing is like because of the movies and stuff. The movies like
Oh, I think I lost you.
fantastical element. Oh, can you hear me
Oh, there
now?
you are. Yeah, I got you now.
I was saying the movies like which it makes sense. The movies show like Golden Age arc, but it shows like in the Golden Age arc it's just your typical like medieval type thing. That's what it is. But then like all this like fantastical stuff, including demon stuff, comes about through some actions. And not saying like the elves didn't exist before this, they just are more prevalent after something that happens in the Golden Age arc.
Okay.
But but yeah, like I after I finished that tiny little arc, the Lost Children arc, I was like, okay, I want to take a tiny break from Berserk. And I wanted to read something. I got the Shonen Jump app. This episode's sponsored by Shonen Jump. No, it's not.
We don't have any
Uh,
sponsors.
no, no. I got the Shonen Jump app, and I paid the $1.99 a month, which is a super good deal. Again, not sponsored, but that's a very good deal where you can basically read as much. They don't have a crap ton of series, but they have at least like 100 series you can read.
Yeah. So it's not like the full backlog of Shonen Jump manga.
Not entirely, but there's like pretty much all the big ones.
Okay.
Pretty much all the big ones. Like the only big one I really want to read is like Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball. I haven't read that.
Yeah.
I don't really care to read Naruto or One Piece. As of now, I don't care to. Like the main
Yeah.
stuff I want to read after my recommendation is like The Promised Neverland, catch up on One Punch Man, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But today's recommendation, I recommend Chainsaw Man.
Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for the anime for that one.
Yeah,
I think it's coming out next year.
yeah, I'll definitely watch it. I'm halfway through the series. I'm literally at the halfway mark. I'm on like chapter 48 or something. Uh, it's 96 chapters right now, and eventually they're going to come out with like a part 2 of the
Yeah,
series. I don't think it's entirely done.
I heard that apparently like Chainsaw Man quote unquote ended, but the ending came with the announcement that it was just the first part of the Chainsaw
Yeah,
Man
yeah,
saga.
yeah. But like I I really like this series. Like, I'm not a big like shonen guy, which this is like shonen plus, I should
Yeah,
say, with Chainsaw Man. Like, um, but like I really like this series because like starting out, that's my one. It's not really a gripe with some manga, but like sometimes it takes like 5, 10, 15 chapters to really like hook you. But with this one, it was like within the first or second chapter, like I was hooked. Like it did a very good job, like getting you into it and liking it. Um, and I didn't really have any idea about it. I knew there's this guy. I didn't even know it was a transformation. I thought he just put on like a mask that had a chainsaw on it or whatever. But but no, it's this world where they're called devils. They're basically like kind of like demons or whatever.
yeah,
This world full of devils, and they've been around. It seems like forever. It's this type of world, um, and there's devil hunters, and our main character Dingy. He's like this extremely poor character. The reason why is because his dad died. You find out within the first couple chapters, his dad committed suicide and left Dingy with like a bunch of debt with the Yakuza.
yeah,
And so the only way Dingy can pay it off is like taking jobs for the Yakuza, like devil hunting jobs for the Yakuza. And Dingy like saved a devil. It's like a chainsaw devil. His name's Pochita or something. It's this cute little dog with a chainsaw coming out of its head.
okay,
He made a deal with it to save it. The deal was saving it because it was about to die, and Dingy would be able to use Pochita however long he wanted. And they had like a bond for a long time, and he would go and kill devils with Pochita because he had a chainsaw coming out of his head. He's trying to work off this debt, and I said he's super poor. He's trying to work off the debt as well as like he lives in like a tin shack, as well as like the best food he gets is like bread. That's usually all he eats is bread, like slices of bread. And
yeah,
like he just dreams about like, oh, like what if I could put jam on my bread? That would be amazing.
yeah,
Like like he's like that level. And eventually, like this isn't a spoiler, this is pretty soon. Eventually something happens. He starts working for this devil hunting government organization. Like the government has devil hunters contracted. He starts working for them, and he like starts living a little bit better life. Like he has like the thing about a lot of anime is like they'll take like this character likes food as like a character trait, which like
yeah,
isn't bad, but it's like there's so many anime or manga
yeah.
where a
Well,
character like
because
one of their defining things is, oh, I like food.
yeah, well, because Goku did it, so
Yeah.
that's
And like I'm kind of like on that. With this it makes sense though. Because this guy has just had the worst life ever, and basically all he eats is bread. So
yeah,
whenever he's given like eggs and bacon or something, he loves it because like he appreciates food more compared to others.
yeah,
Um, as well as like whenever he signs up for the devil hunter thing, everyone has their own goals. Everyone's like, I want to kill this big devil because he killed my parents or whatever. Or this person's like, I'm trying to get money to support my family back home. He pretty much has his goal. His goal is like, I got a roof over my head. I have a bed. I get to sleep in a bed. I get like compared to what I was eating, good food, like really good food. And to the point where like he's never had a relationship either. Like he's never had a relationship with girls or anything. And this sounds like the typical anime manga horny character thing, but his goal is like, my goal is to touch some boobs. Like that's his goal that he set out for himself. it sounds like that typical like horny character thing. But the thing is, like, once he gets to that point, uh, it doesn't feel like that horny thing. It's more like he's like, wait, was this really it? Like, was this really my goal? As well as like, was this the person I wanted this to happen with? This isn't really how I wanted it to play out or anything.
Yeah. Okay, I don't mean to like cut you short or anything, but I am at 11% battery right now.
Oh, that's fine. But I was basically wrapping up Chainsaw Man. Like, it's really good. I really like this series. Um, I definitely will read more. Like, I'm going to finish this part here, but whenever more comes out, I'm definitely going to continue reading it because I love it. I love all the characters. I love Denji. I love all the other characters in Special Division 4. It's like this Devil Hunter section that they have. Um, a lot of cool characters, a lot of cool fighting moments as well. That's what's going to be interesting about the anime is some of these characters' abilities, because some of them, to fight devils, these like demon type creatures, they have to make contracts with certain devils, like devils that they've captured, the government's captured. They make contracts with them so that they can use their ability, like that devil's ability, but for a price. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm going to use Cone the Fox Devil, his ability, and the price I pay is I feed him a little bit of my skin each time. And then someone else, it might be more extreme. It's like, oh, I made a contract with this curse devil, and the contract I use is every time I use its ability, it cuts my lifespan in half, like stuff like that. But Chainsaw Man, highly recommend. But that's all my recommendations.
Alrighty. Well then, for me, as far as plugs go, I guess I actually have something that's kind of disconnected from this to plug now. Well, not disconnected, something other than this, because this is the live stream. If you liked this, then you might like our regular podcasts that we do, available on most podcasting apps, Spotify and I think iTunes and such, where we basically do this but edited. Now, I can't guarantee the episodes will be any shorter than this stream was once they're edited, but
and
but,
that's also
there.
where you can find our other two Cartoon Network DC episodes as well.
Yes, they are both from like last year, so you might have to scroll far into the feed to find them, but they are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to do that every weekend. No specific day on the weekend, just between Friday and Sunday is when they can be expected. Because life is busy right now. We don't really have the luxury of a fixed schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, the only recommendation that I have for today is I finally watched Kiki's Delivery Service last night.
Nice. What'd you think of it?
It's really good. I liked it a lot.
Oh yeah.
I found Kiki so far to be the most like directly relatable Ghibli character I've seen.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite a bit of her personal journey kind of mirrored some of my own concerning my perception of talent and work, and of course the whole depressive slump she gets stuck in towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Also kind of reflects some stuff I've dealt with, especially recently. So,
well, it's interesting to see with a lot of those Ghibli movies, like, even though I put kid in quotation, it's really for anyone, but they do like kind of tackle, or at least have elements of like real life stuff. Like, yeah, like depression kind of with Kiki. Like, it's interesting to see them kind of put that into stuff, because a lot of times kids programs or family friendly stuff just won't bother with that because it's too difficult to tackle or whatever.
yeah. So yeah, that's that's it for me for the week. It's just recommending Kiki's Delivery Service. I'm not going to go into too much detail. This is a movie that is best experienced not knowing too much going in.
Oh yeah.
All that really needs to be known is the main character. She's a little witch girl who flies on a broom. She's a little witch girl who flies on a broom. She's got a talking black cat that is her best friend. And she has a job delivering stuff. I was going to say packages, but they're not always packed. So
Yeah, yeah.
she has a delivery job. That's it. She lives in the attic of a bakery. And that's pretty much it. It has the usual. It was directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and written and produced by him as well. So it has the trademark obsession with airplanes
Yeah, yeah.
in there. Like that man cannot make even a single movie without an airplane in there somewhere.
Oh no. Either airplane or just the simple like because a lot of these were made in the 80s. Him making the time period like 40s or 50s.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing I love that is consistent across all of Ghibli's movies, regardless of whether or not Miyazaki directed it, is they all feel like fairy tales.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they all have this fairy tale vibe to them, more so than I would say most Disney movies do.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
I agree with Kiki. That's my other than Grave of the Fireflies, my favorite Ghibli movie I've seen so far.
yeah, it's definitely up there for me right now. I want to say it's rolling up right behind like Totoro and The Wind Rises.
Yeah, yeah.
The Wind Rises is still my favorite Ghibli movie. I'm pretty sure that one's just going to stay there. I haven't
Nice.
seen them all yet, though, so we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's I think that's it for us on our very first live stream. So thank you for listening to the very first Store Brand Comics live stream.
Yeah, thank you.
Did anybody listen live? I can't see any of that stuff.
There was a couple people that came in and out. No one like commented anything.
Okay, I see. Well, for those who popped in, thank you, and for anyone listening to the recorded version of this, thank you for giving it a listen. And so I think that's it. So I have been Teo,
And I've been Brandon.
and now we are not, and we'll talk to you later.
Take care.